Hey there, folks. Happy Wednesday. Today is November 22nd, 2017. We are not meeting as a live class today. Everyone in the school has a half a day asynchronous day, which is wonderful. You still do, though, have an assignment for me to complete. It's attached to an email that I sent to you. And if you're listening to the recording, then you obviously got the email. The assignment is attached, and let me bring it up, to the email. The email should say 11/22/17, Mrs. Kroll's Asynchronous Math 4 activity. Here is the assignment. I'm going to go over it here in just a minute. But your job today is going to be to open this assignment and complete questions 2 through 7. There are notes underneath here that you can use to help you. All of these questions are about the properties of multiplication. You're going to look at the example and then determine which one of the properties that is an example of. Is it an example of the commutative property where those numbers can flip-flop? Is it an example of the identity property where it's 1 times that number gives you that number? Is it an example of the zero property of multiplication? Some number times 0 gives you 0. Or is it one of the newest properties that we talked about, which was the associative property? That's the property that has the groupings, and it tells you that the groups do not matter, does not change your answer. And there's some examples here for you to look at. There's examples here of the associative property all the way at the bottom of the page. And then the commutative property is here in the middle, zero property, and the identity property. And all of those examples are right underneath. So we'll do one together so you know exactly what to do. If you know how to write on this sheet and turn it in, more power to you. Feel free to do that. If you do not know how to write on the sheet and save it and return it in the email to me, that's no problem. All you will do is once the email, you're reading the email, there should be a button up here, and mine looks a little different because this is a draft. But there should be a button up here that says reply. Let me show you. I'll just go here for an example. You'll see this button here. It says reply all. You would click this little button, this little down pointing V, and you would click reply. And then I want you to type your answers right in that response to me. You can put them as number 2, and then put your answer. Number 3. And then put your answer, number 4, and then put your answer. You can return it in that way, or if you know how to write on the sheet and save it and send it back, you can do it that way also. I don't care whatever way you use, just as long as it gets back to me so you can get your 3 bonus points. Okay, so let's go back to that assignment. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Okay, so here's the assignment. It's coming up. Okay, number 1 we're going to do together so you know exactly what to do. Okay, this one says 4 times 1 is equal to 4. So, what property is that? Well, I already wrote identity over here, so you can see that it is the identity property. But if you weren't sure what property it was, what you would do is you would go down here to the charts. There's a chart here, and then there's like an example down below. And you want to look to see, okay, this one has 4 times 1. So maybe look for the times 1 in the examples. So I go down here. Okay, those ones are flip-flopping. I remember that's not a flip-flopping problem. Okay. Oh, here we go. Identity property. This one says 3 times 1 equals 3 and 1 times 6 equals 6. That looks like my problem because my problem is 1 times 4 equals 4. So it has that times 1. So I know that this is the identity property. And I just went ahead and typed it right on there, but I knew how to do that. If you do not, what I would suggest is grabbing a piece of paper and writing your answers on the piece of paper. Writing your answers on the piece of paper, and then once you've done all of them, numbers 2 through 7, I would go back to the email that I sent you. You would click reply. Let me open up another one. You would click reply, which is right here in the top corner. Hit that little V button, click reply, and then take your answers right from your sheet onto your email. So number 1 is identity, which I already gave to you. Number 2 is whatever the answer is. Number 3 is whatever the answer is. And you have to do problems 2 through 7. At the end, just write thank you, Mrs. Kroll. Well, you would write your name, so thank you, your name, and then just hit send. And then I will get your answers. Again, if you know how to write right on the sheet and attach it, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just send me your answers back in an email. It's worth 3 points. One more time. The assignment is right here. You double click to open it up. Here are your questions. You're responsible for numbers 2 through 7, and you can use the tables underneath to help you. If you have questions, you can email them to me. I will do my best to answer them. I am going to be in meetings all morning, but I will do my best to answer them if you are unsure. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy your 5 glorious days off, and I will see you back here on the 28th of November. Bye, folks.